Hi guys, welcome to another kind of vlog like video, I guess. So for those of you guys who know me, you know that I love baking a lot. I kind of do it a lot in my spare time, but I also do it a lot for friends and family and stuff like that. So I thought that it might be interesting, instead of doing like a vlog, that I might record kind of a sped up version of me decorating a cake. So this has actually been a long time coming. This cake was done for my mum for Mother's Day, which obviously was quite a while ago, and I'm just getting around to kind of editing and doing voiceovers and stuff like that to be uploading it. So that's my bad. I'm really slack. I really need to make myself like a schedule or something like that I can stick to, but that's a whole other matter entirely. So I just want to talk about this cake just a little bit before I go on a rant. So it's just a plain vanilla cake with vanilla Italian meringue buttercream, which is my favorite icing to use. And as you can see, I am filling the center of each layer with lemon curd, which I did buy instead of making, because it just seems like too much work, and the bought stuff that I got is a really good brand and it's really delicious, so that's what I did. So I did have icing in a piping bag to kind of make a little well around the edges for me to fill in with the lemon curd, so it doesn't kind of ooze out the sides when I do the final icing of the sides and the top and everything like that. So yeah, that's my method, and I have a turntable as well. I don't think I could do this without that. So what I wanted to do for this one, I had been given a whole bunch of new piping tips recently, the Russian piping tips that kind of just make a little flower when you pipe out, and I wanted to get some more practice using those because I haven't been able to kind of just pick them up and use them like I see a lot of people seem to do. They seem to be able to just pick them up and they work for them, but not so much for me. And I also have a rose petal tip, which I have used before and made kind of like roses out of buttercream, but I've never had what's called a rose nail, which is what you'll see in a minute I use to actually pipe the rose onto, and it makes it so much easier. So I wanted to play around with that because I just recently got that as well. So this is something that I had a thought of doing in regards to kind of my YouTube channel. I wanted to maybe put a little bit more of kind of my everyday hobbies and things like that. So like my baking, I wanted to upload that possibly because I thought it might be an easy way to create more content without creating more jobs for myself, if you will. That sounds terrible, but hopefully you know what I mean. So I'd really appreciate if you could leave your feedback, like if you enjoy this video, or if you'd like to see more videos of me doing kind of baking and cake decorating and stuff like that, because it's something that I do really enjoy doing. So I am happy to share it if people want to see it. So I just kind of skipped ahead here because really me icing this is not very interesting, so I just kind of cut a whole bunch out of that and kind of fast forwarded to the end. So with the icing of this, I do kind of the crumb coat icing first, and then I chill the icing for a little while just to get it to set up, and then I do the final ice, which is what you saw me just doing before. So this one, I am just getting the colours for my flowers that I'm going to be putting on the cake. So what I wanted was for there to be kind of like a peachy colour, which I think is what I'm doing right now, like kind of a soft peach, a kind of dusty pink, and then like a darker kind of rosy colour as well. I'm not sure if I'm describing those colours very well, but you'll see them in a minute. Because of the lighting, I don't have the best lighting in my kitchen. They did show up kind of not so clear in the actual video itself, but when I do the kind of pictures at the end of the final product, you'll see what they actually look like. So yeah, just bear with me. This is kind of as good as the coloring gets with the lighting that I have. if I still get really good reactions to kind of all of my videos, the vlogs, maybe more of the baking or the gaming videos that I do on my other channel, I'm hoping to invest in some better equipment, so cameras and maybe lighting equipment, just so it'll make my videos better quality. And then, you know, obviously if everyone's still enjoying it, I'd like to kind of up my content creation. I'm not doing very much at the moment, as you can tell, and I think mainly the issue is that I'm just not putting enough time aside for it. Obviously I do have like a full-time job as well, and then when I get home I don't always want to just like get into another job. So yeah, I need to put more time aside for it. I do really enjoy doing it, but yeah, sometimes if I'm not feeling that kind of creative spark at the time, then it can be really hard to find the motivation to get it done. So yeah. Alright, so I'm about to start doing the buttercream roses for the top of the cake. Just showing you the different tips I have. I only ended up using one of the Russian tips actually, so we'll talk about that one when I get to it. But I am starting off with the kind of classic rose, buttercream rose with the rose petal. And I'm just now realizing that you can't see anything that I'm doing because I was really terrible at keeping it in there, in the camera. I am not trained at all in cake decorating or anything like that. Everything that I know I picked up from watching other YouTube videos or practicing, just, you know, I don't know, just kind of playing around with things. So please give me a little bit of slack. I know I'm not doing the best at this by any means, but this is why I practice. It gives me, you know, the experience I need to be able to kind of get better at these sorts of things. So yeah. And if you've got feedback, like if you do cake decorating and you can see that I'm doing something completely wrong and that's why everything's not working for me, then please let me know. I really do want to get better. So yeah, I'm open to feedback. And I know that I don't open up the tip enough at the end. Like it's too closed. I need to kind of fan it further out so the rose is quite open. But I know that now from watching the video. So yep. So I'm just gonna speed up through some of those roses because I'm sure that this is probably actually a little bit boring if you're not really interested in cake decorating and you just want to see the final product. So this is the last one that you'll be seeing. And then I move on to the Russian piping tip, I believe is the next one I do. I'm not sure which one it is. Actually, I can probably find that out and I can put it in the description. But I am doing it in the kind of dusty pink color that I made earlier. And I'm just piping it straight onto the sheet that I have those little roses put down on, because the whole thing's going to be going in the freezer just to set everything up, so it makes it easier for me to put it on the cake later. Cool. So you can see obviously that some of those aren't coming out as I want them to start off with, which is what I was talking about. Sometimes the piping tips just don't work for me straight off the bat. I have to practice or do heaps of them to kind of figure out the technique that works for me to get the best results. So you can see they get slightly better, and I do heaps of them so that way when it comes to actually putting them on the cake, I can pick the ones that I think look the best. And then I'm just making little rosettes with the kind of star tip there. And like I said, those all go in the freezer to set up so that they're nice and kind of hard, not like frozen, but like hard, so that when I put them on the cake, they don't kind of fall apart. Alright, and silly me, I totally forgot to start recording when I started putting all the flowers on the cake. So the first bit of it is a little bit lost there, but as you can see, I'm piping on some buttercream first just to kind of raise the flowers up, and they're not just sitting flat on the cake, and just giving them a little bit more elevation, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And you can see that some of these little Russian piping roses aren't working for me and have fallen apart on the tray, but that's okay. I end up making a whole bunch more flowers and putting them in the freezer just because I had a few issues with a few of them. But yeah, so I'm just kind of doing like a semi halo style cake, and just completely randomly placing them depending on which, what I think looks good. So yeah, and at the end I'll make some green icing and put some leaves in there as well. And I think I even pipe some stuff directly onto the cake as well, so yeah. When I first started decorating cakes, I did a lot of like novelty cakes, so like shaped cakes and covered in fondant and kind of more stuff that you would do for like kids' birthdays and stuff like that. And the more I play around with cake decorating, the more I actually really enjoy doing more simple stuff like this. So like drip cakes and buttercream flowers and just kind of decorating basic cakes. I do still do novelty cakes now and then when I am asked to, or someone I know, like the cake idea I have for them is something that would be a little bit more novelty, then I would do that. But yeah, I think I enjoy doing these ones a little bit more, and it takes way less time as well, so it still takes so much time. Like all of this is sped up and this is just the decorating. The actual baking and creating all the icing and getting the ideas and equipment and stuff like that, it takes so much time. And not to mention cleaning up afterwards. It's probably like my least favorite part of making cakes, is having to clean up everything afterwards. So, but it's worth it. I think my favorite thing is actually just seeing the people's reactions when I give them the cake. So if I'm making it for someone, I just like to see that they're happy and their faces when they see the cake. It makes me happy. So I didn't want some kind of like bold, bright green color for the leaves, so I do mute it down a little bit, I think with some brown, just because the colors of the flowers on the cakes are quite like pastel, although not the red, but just like kind of muted. So yeah, that's what I wanted to go with for the oh gosh, I'm losing my words, for the leaves as well. Oh, I totally forgot I had these. So I just did tiny little white star tip flowers just to put over the top and fill up any gaps and things like that. So I'm just putting those on before I do the leaves, because the leaves should always be last. So. Alright, so with the leaves I do have just a leaf tip. I'm not sure what number or anything like that, but it's just a standard leaf tip. Just piping them in where I think they go, or where there are gaps that I want to fill, and kind of just making it look a little bit more natural with those leaves there as well. And then pretty much I'm done, so I'll leave some pictures at the end in better lighting for you to see what the final product looks like, but this is pretty much it. This is it. So yeah, so this was for my mum for Mother's Day. Hi Mum, if you're watching. So yes, please leave a like if you like this video, and let me know if you do want to see more of these types of videos in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.